If I bear witness of myself, my witness is not true. There is another that beareth witness of me, and I know that the witness which he witnesseth of me is true. He sent unto John, and bore witness unto the truth, but I received not testimony from man. But these things I say, that ye might be saved. He was a burning and a shining light, and ye were willing for a season to rejoice in the light. But I have greater witness than that of John. For the works which the Father hath given me to finish, the same works that I do bear witness of me. For the Father hath sent me, and the Father himself which hath sent me hath borne witness of me. Ye have neither heard his voice at any time, nor seen his shape, and ye have not his word abiding in you. For whom he hath sent him, ye believe not. Search the Scriptures, for in them ye think ye have eternal life. And they that are which testify of me, and ye will not come to me that ye might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that ye have not the love of God in you. I am come in my Father's name, and ye receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him he will receive. How can ye believe, which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that cometh from God only? Do not think that I will accuse you to the Father. There is nothing that accuseth you, even Moses, in whom you trust. For had ye believed Moses, ye would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if ye believe not his writings, how shall ye believe my words? Chapter 6. After these things Jesus went over the Sea of Galilee, which is in the Sea of Tiberias. And a great multitude followed him, because they saw his miracles, which he did on them that were diseased. And Jesus went up into the mountain, and there he sat with his disciples. And the Passover, or feast of the Jews, was nigh. When Jesus then lifted up his eyes, and saw a great company come unto him, he saith unto Philip, Whence shall we buy bread, and these may eat? And this he said to prove him, for he himself knew what he would do. Philip answered him, 200 penny worth of bread is not sufficient for them, that every one of them may take a little. One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, saith unto him, There is a lad here which hath 5 barley loaves, and 2 small fishes, but what are they among so many? And Jesus said, Make the men sit down, now there is much grass in this place. So the men sat down in number about 5,000. And Jesus took up the loaves when he had given thanks, and distributed to the disciples, and the disciples to them that were set down, likewise of the fishes as much as they would. And when they were filled, he said unto his disciples, Gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. Therefore they gathered them together, and filled 12 baskets with the fragments of the 5 barley loaves, which remained over above 2 unto them, and had eaten. Then those men, when they had seen the miracle that Jesus did, said, This is of the truth of the prophet that would come into this world. When Jesus therefore perceived that he would come and take him by force, and make him a king, he departed again into the mountain himself alone. And when even was now come, his disciples went down into the sea, and entered into a ship, and went over to the sea to Capernaum. And it was now dark, and Jesus was not come to them. And the sea arose by reason of the great wind that blew. So when they had rowed about 25 or 30 furlongs, they see Jesus walking on the sea, and drawing nigh unto the ship, and they were afraid. But he saith unto them, It is I, be not afraid. Then willingly received him into the ship, and immediately the ship was at land, whither they went. The day following, when the people which stood on the other side of the sea saw that there was none other boat there, saw that one whereinto his disciples were entered, and that Jesus went not of his disciples into the boat, but that his disciples were gone away alone. Howbeit there came other boats from the Tiberias nigh into the place where they did eat bread, after the Lord had given thanks. When people therefore saw that Jesus was not there, neither his disciples, they also took shipping, and came to Capernaum, seeking for Jesus. And when they had found him on the other side of the sea, they said unto him, Rabbi, when camest thou hither? Jesus answered them, and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, ye seek me, not because ye saw the miracles, but because ye did eat loaves of bread, and were filled. Labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. By him hath God the Father sealed. Then said they unto him, What shall we do that we might work the works of God? Jesus answered and said unto them, This is the work of God, that ye believe on him who hath sent. They said unto him, What sign showest thou then, that we may see and believe thee? What dost thou work? Our fathers did eat manna in the desert, and it is written, He gaveth them bread from the heaven to eat. Then Jesus answered unto them and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father giveth you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is which cometh down from heaven, and giveth life unto the world. Then said unto them, Lord, evermore give us this bread. And Jesus said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. But I said unto you that ye also have seen me, and believe not. All that the Father giveth me shall come to me, and him that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out. For I came down from heaven not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. And this is the Father's will which hath sent me, that of all which he hath given me I should lose nothing, but should raise it up again at the last day. And this is the will of him that sent me, that every one that seeth the Son believeth on him hath everlasting life, and I will raise him up in the last day. The Jews then murmured at him, because he said, I am the bread that which came down from heaven. And they said, Is not this Jesus, the son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know? How is it then that he saith, I came down from heaven? Jesus therefore answered and said unto them, Murmur not among yourselves. No man can come to me except the Father which hath sent me draw him, and I will raise him up the last day. It is written in the prophets that they shall be all taught of God. Every man therefore he that cometh hath learned of the Father cometh unto me. Not that any man hath seen the Father, save he which is of God. Ye have seen the Father. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me hath everlasting life. I am that bread. Your fathers did eat manna in the wilderness and are dead. This is the bread which cometh down from heaven, and that man and any eat thereof and not die. I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. And the bread that I will give is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world.